Welcome to the Northside Grizzly Coaches Show. Now, here's Buzz with Coach Mike Fallour.
Weichert Realtors The Griffin Company provides an extraordinary real estate experience for both clients and agents. Now with offices in Bentonville, Springdale, Fayetteville, and Fort Smith, they proudly offer clients and customers the expertise you need when buying or selling. From contract to closing, their realtors are equipped with the knowledge and resources to ensure a smooth transaction start to finish. Visit them at 3920 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith or online at WeichertFortSmith.com. Experience the Weichert difference.
Unique is our middle name. Okay, maybe not the exact middle, but it's in there. A to Z Variety Store is the most unique shopping you can do in Fort Smith. With furniture, groceries, housewares, even a floral section. With 48,000 square feet of bargains, you're sure to find everything you need. And even a few things you didn't know you wanted. So many great deals, you'll marvel at the savings while you revel in the friendly customer service. Inventory is constantly changing, but consistently affordable. Visit A to Z Variety Store at 2600 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith. And to stay up to date on new arrivals and special deals, like A to Z on Facebook.
Nestled in the heart of Chaffee Crossing in Fort Smith, where people and nature feel connected, the Hub at Providence is centered around you. The Hub is a live, work, play community with living options, commercial lease spaces, and a restaurant, all within walking distance. Loft living spaces at the Hub are perfect for anyone looking for a retreat from the average apartment and townhomes, featuring many luxurious perks and amenities. Explore the community at thehuberc.com. Life at the Hub, a simpler lifestyle.
Welcome to the Northside Grizzly Coaches Show. Now, here's Buzz with Coach Mike Fallour.
Hello, everyone, and a very pleasant good evening to you as we bring you the Mike Fleur Coaches Show live inside Sam's Southern Eatery on Grand Avenue. Coach, I tell you what, I'm a little bit smarter tonight than I was the last two times. You always eat before we do the broadcast. I eat afterwards, and it's usually what you leave, which is not very much. So tonight I was able to take part in the food that's offered here at Sam's. I want to tell you something. This stuff's good.
Yeah, it really is good. And I don't know where you talk about I don't leave much.
Piece of fish.
Piece
One.
of fish. Well,
That's it.
I had a sandwich.
Well, you
Which
got
was
a piece of fish with it.
Which was really good, and I ate the piece of fish tonight. So,
well, it was very good. Coach, it's been a weird year.
yes.
22 days between games. You get a victory over Southside. You have to schedule a game with Moore, make the trip over there. It's a team you really don't know a lot about. That's a little scary sometimes. You're going into their backyard to play them, but you come out with a victory 28-21.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a time that I don't think any football coach or player has ever really gone through before with the COVID. And going into a game where you really hadn't practiced but 4 times in what amounted to 3 weeks. You went over there and you weren't really sure how you would play, and we were sloppy. But saying that, our kids came through and did what they needed to do to win the game, and had some big plays defensively. We were able to stop them most of the night. We tried to make it interesting there at the end with they scored, and then we snapped the ball over the punter's head, which we haven't done. I can't think of one time in my 7-8 years here, and so they go down and score, and now all of a sudden it's 28-21 with 3 minutes to go, and you've seen it happen before, and you're just hoping that you can hold on.
Didn't know what to expect when the game started. You kick off, you win the toss, defer, kick it to Moore. They had a good drive going, and you're thinking, wow, Coach, these guys can play. I mean, they're able to move it through the air, they move it on the ground. They had some really good athletes. Brandon Gerard was a kid that did a great job that night, but they were moving the football. We were able to force a turn or force a punt, and then I think we just trade jabs 3 or 4 times offensively, and both defenses were able to come up and make the stops when they needed to. But Savoy, big interception, first starter as a Grizzly.
First 10th grader, filling in for a guy that's been sick and played really, really good. Not just that one play. I mean, he played the entire football game and made several tackles, but he breaks on the ball, steps in front of him, and takes it about 50 yards for his first high school interception and touchdown, and it kind of got us going a little bit. But, the thing about Moore that we knew going in, the year before they played in the semifinals, and they had lost some good players, but they were big.
They were big.
And that kind of takes you a little bit of time maybe to adjust to. And so, but, once, like you said, we kind of traded jabs early, and they probably moved the ball a little bit better than we did early in the game, but we kind of got it going, had some big plays, and some guys step up and really do well.
Well, it was fun to watch, the teams kind of feel each other out and kind of see where it was headed. And then when Savoy got the interception, I made an error on the broadcast, and I want to make good on that tonight. I said it was Vashawn Bishop. My eyesight may not be as good as it used to be, but I will say the press box there, it's a very nice facility. They're very hospitable, took care of us with information, everything we needed. But I said from a very far distance, which it's not like that at Northside. Northside being a very intimidating place to play because you got the crowd right on top of the field. There, it's a different story, and I made a mistake. I said it was Vashawn Bishop, but it was Savoy, and I want to make good on that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Mayo Thompson Stadium is so beautiful. It's a football venue. I mean, it's for football. There's not a track around it. It's a football field with bleachers built right in there, and now with both ends kind of being closed in, it makes it even a better place to view a football game.
Well, it's definitely a lot of sentimental value to us as past players, but it is a tough place for another team to come in and play because it gets extremely loud. That's an advantage we don't really have right now.
No, I mean, it's not like what you see on TV where they can pipe in some crowd noise, but everything's different. Limited size and crowds, who can get in, who can watch the game, sitting apart. And I think going to Bryant this week will be the first time our cheerleaders and and insteppers have gone to a game. So, there for a while they weren't going to let them go to any of them. So they've kind of loosened that up. So that'll bring a little bit more excitement to the stadium.
Well, we had some offense that I'd like to talk a little bit about, Coach. Ty Massey, I think 54-yard touchdown. Not only is he a hard-running young man, very stout, very strong lower body, but he's got speed too.
Yeah, I mean, Ty had, I think, 15 carries for 106 yards and a touchdown. And Ty sees things really, really, maybe better than any back we've got as far as with the wide zone, seeing what's happening with his blocks and making those cuts. So he's going to get a workload this week because, we're down a guy or two there. And, again, and you said fast. Nobody's ever caught Ty Massey from behind.
Right.
So that, I don't know how fast he is.
Don't want to find out.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him just keep getting into the end zone with people chasing him, looking at that number 33 from behind. Talk about some of the kids that we don't have. Seth Fields, really looking forward to getting him back. What's the look on him?
He when you get quarantined or have a positive test, you have to sit out either 10 or 14 days, and then once you've met that, you do a 6-day protocol to come back to play. So he has started that this week. He's on day 4 or 5, so he'll be ready to go Monday next week for Little Rock Central.
Yeah, Coach, we'll talk a little bit later in the program about, really kind of what you're dealing with player status-wise and that type of thing. Let's talk Dre Norwood real quick. He got a lot of exposure from the Oklahoma media, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. But he had a touchdown, really one that he had to, get that extra effort to get in the end zone.
Yeah, the thing that Drayden brings to the table over a lot of people is he's so athletic and can make people miss and spin around and go the other direction and make something out of nothing.
Right.
The one he scored on, who knows about this for sure, whether Drayden saw the wrong play or he called one play and went the wrong way, we don't know.
Right.
But he went opposite of where he was supposed to go, and there's two guys standing there, and he makes a miss and spins back out, takes it the other way, and goes in and scores. So, it's not really the way you drew it up, but we're not going to turn it down either.
No, 6 is 6, however you get it. After the game was over, I was invited into the Moore booth to kind of listen in on their post-game show. They deliver a lot of scores for the teams all across the Oklahoma region. And when I got in there, they said, hey, put a headset on. So I was able to actually get in on their post-game show. And the first thing they asked me, they said, hey, what about this Norwood kid? Is he that good or does he just have a good night? I said, no, he's that good. And they said, well, did Arkansas get him? And I said, no. OU didn't get him either. They said, where is he going? I said, I think he's going to Texas A&M. So they're all sick about that, just like we, But he's going to make his own decision, and we're going to support him no matter where he goes.
Yeah, well, you just want him to be happy.
Exactly.
Be successful.
That's exactly
and
right.
Wherever he feels that is the best place for him, that's what he needs to do.
Well, we had, on my way home, a friend of mine was with me, and he called into a talk show and said, and they all know him, he's in the radio business over there, and so they asked him, what he did that night, and he said, well, I had a snow cone machine over in Chandler when the Lions were playing there, but the Lions in Moore, Oklahoma, I was able to be in the press box with Buzz and help do the game. And they said, hey, what about that Norwood kid? So it was all over the state after his performance Friday night.
Well, that's good. Maybe, there's another Norwood over there too, so that maybe that name will become.
Well, that did come up.
Yeah.
They were hoping he would be able to come up in the press box and give us an interview, but I think that they're pretty strict on what they let him do on the weekends.
I would think so.
And so I think they were open then, but they'll be back in action this Saturday. So, Coach, what's the plan now? With your players and the way that they're had practice this week and everything. Is it something that you had to? We're going to talk about Bryant after a couple of breaks, but I want to kind of get this in before we get to that point. Okay. Bryant is obviously a team that's a marquee team, but this week during your practice, what have you had to do to prepare against a team like that?
Well, we don't do anything different. We're going to work and do the same things that we do every week. What we talk about is the opportunity they have to go play the number one team in the state of Arkansas, 2-time defending state champions in a row, and how if we go down there and play the way we're capable of, it'll be a heck of a football game, and let's give ourselves a chance to be in it and win it.
We've talked about a lot of your players, Massey. We've talked about Dre Norwood. One kid that we haven't talked about was the A to Z player of the game, and that was Walker Kitsavis. Coach, he made some big catches again, just like he did against Southside. But the play, and I want you to kind of take me through that play where he caught the pass behind the line of scrimmage, then saw Avante Tucker and just hit him on a strike.
Well, our coaches, like everybody's watched film, pretty much all weekend of their opponent, and then we come in on Sunday and we start piecing together what we think we can do, who we want to attack, and we always try to put in a special or a trick play, whatever you want to call it. And everybody had noticed how their secondary supported so fast, and so I had drawn something up, Greg had drawn something up, and we kind of put it all together. And so it's a jet sweep, which Walker never runs, and we hand the ball off to him, and then he takes it, and he's going to throw the ball to whoever. In this case, it's Avante Tucker on a go route, and he was wide open, and fortunately, he put it right on the money. He caught it, and it made it 28-7.
Is that an option for Walker? I mean, if he's not open, he just turn it upfield and run?
Yeah, if the guy's covered, he doesn't feel good about it, just run the football. Don't force something and get a turnover.
Well, 28-21, final score. I know you're glad to get out of that one. That was a game, and I'm thankful that you were able to schedule it because, like I said, it had been 22 days, and you sure would like to get some contact in, get some reps in, and, just game action before you do have to go to Bryant this week.
No, I would have hate to have thought we'd have gone a whole nother week without a game. So we're very glad that we got to go. It was it's a long drive, and when we're doing it 3 weeks in a row, that added to it. But our kids got to play, got to get some of that. It's funny to say rust off after this early in the season, but truly that's what it was. And so plus the conditioning, we were. Weren't able to do anything with them for 7 days. So, that, it doesn't take long to lose the conditioning you work for all summer to get. And so it was good.
Well, Coach, you've brought a couple of guests tonight, a couple of coaches. We're going to take a break. And before we do, I want to talk about our sponsor, Harry Robinson, who has been in business forever. Pontiac, GMC, Buick. Been over on, you can see him on the interstate on 540. He's been there forever. I bought a lot of cars from Harry, and he's a great guy, does a great job for the community, does a lot of advertising in a lot of different ways. We appreciate him. He's got a location in Salisaw now, so if you're in Salisaw, Oklahoma, go see him. Harry will take care of you. He is our sponsor of the Mike Fleur Coaches Show, and we're going to take a break, be back with inside linebacker coach Ryan Solly right after this word from Harry.
The biggest selection and the lowest prices on a new Buick are at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2020 Buick Encore has plenty of cargo space and it's loaded with technology, only $19,995. And the 2020 Buick Envision has all the features and seating for 5. Take $9,000 off, only $28,985. The biggest selection, the lowest prices. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
You're going to love you some Sam's Southern Eatery on Grand Avenue, home of the famous jumbo shrimp and more seafood than you can shake a shrimp basket at. Fried or grilled, they have it all. They always do it right with Sam's homemade po' boys, chicken, burgers, and salads. And don't you forget their delicious fried pies. Their crispy catfish baskets definitely have their own bragging rights, too. Be sure to stop by for the live taping of the Mike Fleur Coaches Show on Thursday evenings at 6 o'clock and cheer on the Northside Grizzlies.
For more than 50 years, Air Compressor Equipment Company has provided solutions for the oil, gas, and industrial markets, becoming an industry leader in custom fabrication. An unwavering focus on assembly, sales, and service means that whatever size project you have, ACEC can deliver what works. Air Compressor Equipment Company supplies to businesses working in the most demanding environments around the world, but is still a dedicated member of the Arklahoma community. Learn more at acec-ark.com. Air Compressor Equipment Company. Field tested, quality driven.
Welcome back to the Mike Fleur Show inside Sam's Southern Eatery. I'm here with inside linebacker coach Ryan Solly. Coach Solly, did you get a chance to eat before?
It was unbelievable.
Did you get what I got?
I got what you got.
Number 16?
Number 16. Saved a piece of fish and fries for my wife. I think she's watching live right now. So
she knows it's coming.
I'm bringing some leftovers. They'll keep me from eating it.
I hear you. I've got a few leftovers too, but I'm going to take them home for myself because Laurie won't eat it. She's on a strict diet right now, but In any other circumstance, she would be.
Yeah.
Well, Coach,
Jesse loves catfish, so I'm bringing some home.
Better take some home to her. Coach, let's talk about your past. I know we talked to you quite a bit last year on the show, but I like to give all of our listeners kind of an idea, really, who you are. You're an ex-Grizzly. You played for them. And then once you got out of school, kind of take us through that.
Well, I was fortunate enough to play back in the late 90s. Won a state title in 99. Played inside linebacker, and had a pretty successful high school career. Played with a bunch of great guys. We won a state title, like I said. So that was awesome. And then I kind of lost my way for a couple of years. I was building some pools, pouring some concrete, and a good buddy of mine, Lee Bell and Eddie Cole, were coaching a little league team, and I kind of tagged along with them. And I remember the first day of practice, I went out there at Jeffrey's Boys Club, coaching 3rd and 4th grade, and left there and went straight to my mom's house and said, "That's what I'm going to do." And I never looked back. Went to school in January and graduated 5 years later. I volunteered at Northside the whole time I was there at UA Fort Smith, and got hired at Darby, coached there 1 year, moved me up, and been coaching on the Grizzly staff ever since. It's been great. So it's home, and it's a great career.
Well, Coach, I remember you telling me last year that once you got started coaching, well, first of all, let me say this. I mean, you just have a love for football and sports in general. You're very passionate. I love watching you during the game and kind of getting your feel of the emotion and how you get the players excited. I mean, you definitely wear your emotion on your sleeve. There's no guessing what kind of mood you're in, let me say that. And it is fun to watch, and we definitely publicize that a little bit, Coach. I hope you don't mind.
I don't mind.
But you said something to me last year that really got my attention. You said the first check you got, I think you were at Darby, and it was like, I get paid for this.
Yeah.
How much fun is this?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, we don't make a lot of money compared to people, but we make enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember thinking I won the lottery. I got drafted. That's the feeling I had. I mean, I'm fixing to make this much money to go coach these 7th grade boys,
Mm-hmm.
and Fort Smith treats us right, and they pay us well, and they expect us to do well, and very blessed in that aspect. I'm grateful, I promise you.
Well, and I know that, once you came to Northside, that's where you played your high school ball. Your team was honored last year as a state championship team, and that's a rare get there. I mean, you get a state championship. Very few people are able to say that they were on a team like that.
It's hard to come by. It's real hard when you look at it from a coaching perspective. That's why we're going to go face Bryant, and they've won it 2 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And those teams that can win multiple titles within a time frame, you got a lot of respect for them. I mean, you're borderline envious of them. And so, they're hard to come by, and we're trying to get there.
Yeah, and it just a lot of work, and, there's so many things that can go against you during the season. You may have the personnel you need, and then you get an injury here or sickness there, and things completely change. But that's, I think, where coaches come in that are able to motivate the next guy up. It really makes a difference. Last year, you coached the defensive line.
I did.
This year, there's been some changes. You're now the inside linebacker coach. That's more not really your comfort zone, but that's what you played.
Well, when all this was going about with Coach Bush, I went to Coach Fuller personally, and I got a good relationship with him, a great relationship with him. And I said, look, if Rusty gets this job, I've always wanted to take a crack at inside linebacker, and it looked like this could be a good fit for me. And I tell you what it's done for me. I always feel like I knew football, and I know football, and got a good mind for football. But I've learned so much this year just with Coach Curry and perimeter game and secondary game that I feel like a first-year coach all over again. I mean, it's been unbelievable. It's been exactly what I needed in 2020. You know what I'm saying?
Renewed now to have a renewed interest.
Yeah, I'm
not
always
that you ever lost your passion for it.
I'm always fired up, but I'm a sponge every day. I gobble it up. I just listen to Coach Curry, and I'm just learning so much, and I can't wait for 12:30 tomorrow to get on that bus. I mean, I'm so fired up to go down there and see how we perform.
Well, they're definitely going to be a test, and they're really kind of on the national.
They are
bound or site now because of their win against Trinity Christian and in a shootout 44-40. But they're definitely going to be a test at their home field. But I know that you guys are up for it.
Absolutely. And I like to say this about Brian. I mean, I'm so happy that they beat Trinity Christian.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's great for the state of Arkansas and for us to have a team of that caliber. I mean, they're well coached. They're extremely talented. I mean, they're still high school players, right? So, I mean, they're not NFL guys.
Right.
Now, some may go on to be NFL guys. But I'm just proud of the state of Arkansas for the quality of football that Brian has, and Bentonville and North Little Rock, and these guys, they're the class, and we're trying to get there, and we think we got some pieces to the puzzle. We really do. So we're excited about rolling down there.
Well, right now, I mean, you're in the meat of it. You know, there's a lot of preparation that gets you to a season. Then there's an off season, and then there's kind of a dead time. What do you do in your dead time?
Well, I like to play golf.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
You know, that a lot of other people do too. But I hear you're really, really good.
Well, I didn't play as much this year because my daughter got into softball.
Oh.
And I kind of, you got to choose priorities and everything. But I tell you what I got into during this quarantine was fishing.
Fishing?
Yeah.
Did you go with Little any?
I went with Little a couple times. I went with my buddy Ben. And I'm not very good at it. I catch 2 or 3 fish, and I'd had a good day.
Well, I mean, you can go out there and not catch any fish, but it's a good day.
But it was a challenge, and I kind of picked it up a little bit. And so between that, golf, and softball, I stayed fairly busy during quarantine.
Well, the reason I say it's unbelievable is not your athletic ability as far as golf is concerned. It's the fact that it's like there's 2 different types of people that play golf. That inside linebacker coach that's in your grill for 60 minutes, or if it's or 48 minutes, or if it's you're trying to make a 6-foot putt and you've got to really calm your nerves.
Well, the linebacker comes out after I missed
you
the
missed
6-foot putt.
I hear you.
Yeah. So
well, Coach, I really appreciate what you do for Northside. It's a very special. I guess the teamwork or the union of an ex-Grizzly that's now coaching, and there's a few others on the Grizzly staff that are ex-players for the Grizzlies, and I know how much it means to you. Just a couple of questions before we go, okay, real quick. What's your all-time favorite professional team?
All-time favorite? I get asked that quite a bit. I mean, my buddy played for the Packers for several years, so I always pull for the Packers and everything. But I said this last night, and I watched the end of their game. When I was young, I played for a team for Stevens Boys Club, and we were the Raiders.
The Raiders.
And I kind of like John Gruden.
You like the Vegas Raiders?
Yeah, I like Vegas. I mean, it just kind of fits Coach Solly. And I told my wife last night, I was like, I think I'm going to start pulling for these Raiders again and kind of get behind them. They're 2-0, and I don't know. I just told my wife that, and I'm kind of rolling with them this year.
You got any Raider gear?
No, I don't.
I know what to get you for Christmas then.
Yeah, I had a Raider hat that I wore all the time in elementary school. So, but yeah, I think I like these Vegas Raiders right now.
All right, next question. Now this doesn't have to be athletic ability. It could be anything.
Okay.
The favorite player that you coached.
Favorite player.
Your favorite player that you've coached in your career. And it doesn't have to be that he went on to be a superstar. Could be anybody.
Well, I'm not going to answer that.
So I don't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, I tell you, I have fond memories of a lot of players. I don't want to say any names, but I'll throw a few out there. Datrion Dean, Daquan Jackson, Carlos Alamon. Those 3 come to mind. And I'll tell you this, I got a couple special ones that I'm coaching this year.
Right.
That I've grown to love. I got 4 kids that at this linebacking crew that I enjoy coaching.
Tell me who those kids are. Coach.
Well, we
got
Esau's a headhunter. He kind of reminds me of myself.
Right.
He's just kind of a gritty, nasty player, finds the ball well. Medlock has worked himself into a player.
Right.
He's a good boy. Yes, sir. He gobbles up coaching. Rock Jackson could be as special as they've come in a long time through Northside. Got a lot of great tools. And one of the most gifted kids, talent-wise, is Sean Bishop. And see, I played with Sean Bishop's uncles.
Right.
And they were both great players. And so it's in his DNA. And if he ever figures it out completely,
he'll be there.
We got a little special package for Sean this week.
Cool.
We're going to ask him to do some things that we think he can do. and do at a high level. And I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to unleash Sean Bishop this week. So I hope he's watching this.
Well, you did a great job, kind of not putting one player out there. I did put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Try to get you that one player. I'm gonna put you on the spot again.
Okay.
You got to force them. All right. You got to pick. You got Coach Little, you got Coach Curry, and you got Coach Frazier. You get to pick one to play against the other two for dinner. Which one do you pick?
Well, if I want to win.
If you want to win.
If I want to win, I'm going to pick Coach Frazier.
Coach Frazier?
He's the most talented.
Is Coach Little here?
He is.
All right. Well, I'm going to give him time. He gets a little rebuttal time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if I'm going to stay true to
Your
the
partner?
DC, I'm going to ride with Coach Curry, and if we have to buy dinner, Coach Curry won't gamble, do anything, so
Right.
I'll have to buy the dinner. But I'll gladly do it.
All right. Last question.
All right.
Excluding Coach Fleur, who is your favorite all-time coach? Could be pro, could be college, could be Little League for that matter.
My favorite coach that coached me personally, or
No, just all-time favorite. Could be a professional coach, college coach, anybody, high school coach, excluding Mike Fleur.
Okay, excluding Mike Fleur. I think
You already said Gruden. You like Gruden pretty
I
good.
like Gruden. I like his personality. But I think you can't go wrong with Bill Belichick, Nick Saban type people. I'm not necessarily that would want to work for them,
Right.
but they got a special factor. But the guy that I'm telling you, my wife is in love with this man, and I am too. And that's Coach O at LSU. We can't get enough of him.
Isn't he something?
And if he can do something special this year, I might just jump on his bandwagon too, like the Raiders. I
Yeah,
don't
go
know.
Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Well, you've been listening to Ryan Solly. He's an inside linebacker coach for the Grizzlies, ex-player. He has a lot of passion for it. Tune in to Grizzly TV. If you want to watch him on the sideline, you'll get a feel for what it's like to be a coach.
I got to say one more thing.
All right.
Hi, Sadie.
Sadie.
That's my daughter.
All right, Sadie, hi to you. We're live on Channel 22 with Cox and Grizzly TV. We're here at Sam's Southern Eatery. We thank you for joining us, the Mike Fleur Coaches Show. We're going to take a break, and we're going to be right back to talk to Coach Little, and I'm sure he's going to have a little bit to say about his side of who he would take in his foursome. Now, I'm not going to ask him the same questions, but he gets a few different ones. But I'm going to give him a shot at that.
Okay, that'll be just fine.
We'll be back right after this from ERC.
Nestled in the heart of Chaffee Crossing in Fort Smith, where people and nature feel connected, the Hub at Providence is centered around you. The Hub is a live, work, play community with living options, commercial lease spaces, and a restaurant, all within walking distance. Loft living spaces at the Hub are perfect for anyone looking for a retreat from the average apartment and townhomes, featuring many luxurious perks and amenities. Explore the community at thehuberc.com. Life at the Hub, a simpler lifestyle.
You're in business to do business, not paperwork. That's where the skills of Potts & Company certified public accountants can help you succeed. Trust the experienced professionals of Potts & Company for tax preparation, bookkeeping, and other business services. Using QuickBooks for your operations? They're QuickBooks experts. The Potts & Company team can help you establish, organize, and optimize your QuickBooks for utmost effectiveness. Visit pottscpa.com to learn more. Unique is our middle name. Okay, maybe not the exact middle, but it's in there. A to Z Variety Store is the most unique shopping you can do in Fort Smith. With furniture, groceries, housewares, even a floral section. With 48,000 square feet of bargains, you're sure to find everything you need. And even a few things you didn't know you wanted. So many great deals, you'll marvel at the savings while you revel in the friendly customer service. Inventory is constantly changing, but consistently affordable. Visit A to Z Variety Store at 2600 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith. And to stay up to date on new arrivals and special deals, like A to Z on Facebook.
Welcome back to the Mike Fleur Show, sponsored by Harry Robinson Pontiac, GMC Buick. Got David Little, Coach Little, offensive line. I'm going to get to a point here shortly that you get to kind of redeem yourself on the golf outing. But Coach Little is our offensive line coach. And, Coach, I know that you don't get a lot of glory as far as, you know, the stats and all that with the group that you coach. but it all starts with you.
Sure.
That's
Oh, yeah.
where it is.
Yeah, and, we tell the guys, if we're not successful up front on the offensive line, we're probably not winning. So we've got a group of guys that go out and they grind every day and they work hard. And, up to this point so far we've been successful, but we got a big challenge, a big opportunity ahead of us tomorrow night.
Big one coming up. And when you look at your offensive line, Coach, you've got a couple of juniors, couple of sophomores, couple of seniors.
Right.
But you got some big kids.
Oh, yeah. I think this is the biggest overall offensive line we've had since I've been here. Jordan Green's over 300 pounds.
Right.
Sophomore Jamani Benton, 340 pounds. And, we go 240, 260.
Exactly.
So we got some good size, and it's a good group to work with.
Well, Benton and Green, I mean, not only are they over 300, but they're like 6'3".
Yeah. Jordan, of course, he's our senior returning starter.
Right.
We moved him to right tackle this year to put Jamani in there at guard. And our right side, we got some big guys right there.
What about James Colley, your senior? Talk about him a little bit.
James Colley got thrown in there last year as a sophomore, probably a little early, but now, since he's a junior, that experience that he got last year is really, really paying off for him this year. And he's really been a solid. You got to have a guy at center that, first of all, snaps the ball well every time, and then takes care of his assignments, and he's doing a really good job.
That's double duty. It's like to ask of a kid, to be able to – you take for granted that when you're in the shotgun or the pistol and, just a mishandle there can cost you a game.
That's right.
So he does have a lot on his plate other than just making the snap. Then he's got to, make sure his assignment's there.
That's right, and he has to identify the defensive front, and so we'll know how to block it, and he's done a really good job.
Well, let me ask you this question. Last year's offense compared to this year's offense, it's a little bit different than this wide zone. How does that affect you?
Well, the wide zone, it's a great offense. I really feel like it fits our personnel really well.
Right.
The only unfortunate thing, and, of course, everybody in the state, went through it, a new offense for us, we didn't get to have the spring to iron out the kinks,
right.
So we're getting better as we go. The more practice time and, each game we play, we're getting better and better, better footwork, better combos up, but it really does fit our personnel better. So in the long run, I think it's going to help us out.
During a game, when your offense is on the field and you're critiquing everything that goes on for that possession, once that possession's over and they come off the field, what happens then?
Well, we go over there to the monitors and we watch every play of that series, and we'll coach them up on certain steps that they might need to take better, or certain blocking combos that we need to fix, and we get ready for the next series. Is
Colley your leader on that offensive line, or do you have a designated or self-proclaimed leader, I should say?
I really don't think we have necessarily a leader on the offensive line. I'm pretty much their leader. Yeah, I'm their leader. But James is the one who calls our combo blocks, and he calls the fronts and all that kind of stuff. So he's probably the most vocal of them all.
Coach, let's go back to your high school days. Where'd you go to high school?
I graduated from Fort Smith Christian.
There was a couple of guys you graduated with that went on to do pretty good.
Yeah, graduated with some good buddies of mine. One was Gus Malzahn.
Right.
Yeah.
And where'd you go to college?
Well, I graduated from Henderson State University.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you go from there to Fordyce, or did you?
Well,
how did that?
I went to Hampton.
Right.
A small school south of Fordyce for a year, and then I went to Fordyce, and I was there for 20 years. 20 years.
So, Coach, how long have you been in Northside now?
I believe this is my 7th year. Right.
So is it good to be back in Fort Smith?
It's Fordyce was a great place to coach.
Right.
A lot of tradition there, and coached a lot of great players, and had a lot of raised my kids there.
Right.
But it's been really, really great to be home these last 7 years.
Well, Coach, I'll say, I mean, that is like 20 years.
Right.
It's a long time, but you had some great teams there. They're doing good now.
Sure. They won the state championship last year, and they returned most of their team, and they're predicted to win it again this year.
Well, I missed a trip last year. I think you and Coach Fleur went to Magazine to watch them play, and stopped in Boonville to eat the barbecue. And I've always wanted to eat there. How was that trip? Was it good?
That's a delicious. That's good barbecue there. You need to try it sometime.
Well, I like going with you guys because you always eat really good. I know we went to Poto to watch Poto and Alma. Coach Bush is the head coach now at Alma, and we ate pretty good that night.
Well, you got to eat good when you go somewhere. That's just part of it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So now let's get off of football just a little bit.
Okay.
You have a reputation for catching a lot of fish. And you've attracted a lot of these coaches, and everybody wants to hang out with you, I guess, when it's spawn season.
Well, I've been fortunate. Been doing a lot of fishing over the last several years, and I've found some pretty good spots to fish, and I've been able to take several of our coaches, and kind of show them my technique of fishing, and it's been successful. And we had a lot of fun.
Well, I see the results of it. I've never been asked to go.
Right.
I've never been asked to go.
Never been asked. Okay. Well, I'll see if I can fit you in.
Okay.
We'll see.
If you can get me fit in, I appreciate it.
We'll see.
As long as I get to eat, I guess that's the most important part. But
right.
I have been the recipient of those fishing outings, and always have a big fish fry that you and Coach Fleur put on every year before the season starts. And, boy, this year was outstanding.
Yeah, it was a really good time. And I tell you, the host family for the fish fry was really, really awesome to us. And it was a great accommodations, a great venue to have a coach's fish fry. And we just had a really, really good time with that host family. I want to thank them.
Well, we'll get with them on that. We sure enjoyed having everybody, and we had fish left.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
I became a fan of strawberry pie.
Oh, yeah.
That night. I've never had it before. And that night when I ate it, I'm thinking, man, this is the best pie I ever had. And I was fortunate enough to be left an entire pie just for me. And
really?
Yeah, it's exactly right.
Man, that's not right.
Yeah.
My wife is she is one of the best dessert bakers in the world, and I'm lucky to be married to her. I get to try all that stuff out when she's experimenting. Yeah, I'll take it.
Right.
But she's wonderful. First of all, she's a coach's wife. That's hard enough, and she's been a coach's wife for 27 years now. And but she's a great baker, and she bakes dessert for the coaching staff every Sunday when we work.
Right.
And the coaches always look forward to it.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's
it's fun to talk about things sometimes other than football. I know this time of year we are so busy, and it's not just football anymore. It's are we going to play next week? What do we have to do to keep everybody healthy and, stay within the regulations and do what we have to do? And so it's double duty pretty much for everybody. I know it's a grind. It's stressful, and it's hard to get a good night's sleep and get up the next day and go to work.
I tell you what, I'm glad to have it, though. I mean, it is a grind. Football is a grind, but last spring when we got athletics taken away from us and we're sitting at home twiddling our thumbs, it's the worst feeling in the world.
Right.
If you're a coach, and it's in your DNA to be out there grinding and stuff, and you're sitting at home watching Lifetime movies,
right.
Hallmark movies, it's miserable.
Right.
So I just feel we're blessed every opportunity we get to go out and practice and sweat and do all that kind of stuff. I love it.
Right.
We're blessed to be able to do that. We're blessed to be able to have an opportunity to go play one of the best teams, in the southern region of the United States. So this is a great opportunity for us.
Yeah, they're on the national scene now, so
sure.
it's going to be a big ball game, and
right.
we're hoping for good things, and I'm sure that we'll get some breaks here and there, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you not just as a fisherman and a coach, but just as a human being. It's good to have good coaches with, good leadership abilities. And these Northside Grizzlies are so blessed to have the coaches that they have to just lead them in the right direction. And, talking to Coach Solly and seeing his passion, I'll talk about, during our broadcast and watching him. But, Coach, you're pretty passionate yourself. And I'll tell you what, I was during the practices before the season started, I was down there filming some of it when you were working with the linemen.
Right.
And I said, hey, Coach, I got you on film. And the first thing you said was, hey, let me look at that before you publish it.
I wanted to make sure no bad words slipped out.
Yeah. Well, none did. You did a great job. We sure appreciate that. Coach, just a few questions.
All right.
We'll go pretty quick.
Okay.
Favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? Probably It's a movie called Seems Like Old Times.
Seems Like Old Times.
An old Chevy Chase movie, and probably 1A would be Fletch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a Chevy Chase fan.
Oh yeah.
All right. So it wasn't going to be a sports movie.
Well, I mean, there's a place for that.
But not
too.
your favorite.
Not my favorite. No.
All right.
I like funny movies.
Did you drive over here by yourself?
I did.
What were you listening to? What music were you listening to?
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your go-to?
It is. It actually, my daughters got that Spotify, and they created me a playlist of old rock and roll music that I like to listen to. Yeah.
I've heard some stories about that. All right, Coach. This is serious question.
Okay.
You got to be careful with this one. Okay.
All right.
Blondes or brunettes?
Blondes.
I knew you'd answer it quick. You're in a very touchy situation there. If you'd have said anything
My
other
whole
than
house-
blondes, your entire house is blonde.
My whole household is blonde. Yeah.
Best fishing partner, Ashton Little or Mike Fleur?
Ashton Little.
Oh.
You really?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
There's no way I'm going to do that to
You know,
my daughter.
Mike's going to contest that.
Well, sure.
And
sure.
you all had a big day, and he was there
Now,
present.
I will say this. He's a good fishing partner.
Right.
He's a good fishing partner, but I got to go with my daughter. Yeah.
You know, she came to my pond and caught fish when nobody else was
She
catching
sure
them.
did.
She
She
did
sure
a great
did,
job.
yeah.
All right. I'm going to ask you the same question that, I'm going to get back to the golf in just 1 second.
Okay.
But I'm asking you the same question that I asked Coach Solly. Favorite all-time football coach, and it can anybody other than Mike Fleur.
All-time?
College, pro, boys club, it doesn't matter.
Don Shula.
Don Shula, good choice.
Yeah.
So Gruden and Shula, how would you like to see those two going head to head? That'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, if you're in a foursome, and you got Solly, Coach Frazier, and Coach Curry, who do you pick for money?
Frazier.
Frazier?
Yeah.
Frazier must be pretty good.
Frazier's real good. Now, Solly's pretty good, too.
I heard he was.
Solly's pretty good, too. And, you know, he wouldn't be a bad pick, I promise you. I'd be fortunate to get him, but Frazier's a different level.
Coach, thank you for your time.
You bet.
We really appreciate
All
you. Do a great job.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the offensive line coach, David Little. We're going to take a break and be back with head coach Mike Fleur. We're going to talk a little bit about Bryant, and then we're going to talk a little bit about some questions that some fans have sent in. We'll take a break and be back right after this from Blaylock Heat and Air.
Fairs, football, and fall. What a great time of year. Mike Blaylock with Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services. If you're looking for a way to cut your utility bills, we're here to help with the York high-efficiency heating and cooling products and the Ream tankless water heater with 95% efficiencies. So to have a red truck rolling your way today, give us a call. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services, 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
The biggest selection and the lowest prices on a new Buick are at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2020 Buick Encore has plenty of cargo space and it's loaded with technology, only $19,995. And the 2020 Buick Envision has all the features and seating for 5. Take $9,000 off, only $28,985. The biggest selection, the lowest prices. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
You're watching Grizzly TV.
You're gonna love you some Sam's Southern Eatery on Grand Avenue, home of the famous jumbo shrimp and more seafood than you can shake a shrimp basket at. Fried or grilled, they have it all. They always do it right with Sam's homemade po' boys, chicken, burgers, and salads. And don't you forget their delicious fried pies. Their crispy catfish baskets definitely have their own bragging rights too. Be sure to stop by for the live taping of the Mike Fleur Coaches Show on Thursday evenings at 6 o'clock and cheer on the Northside Grizzlies. Aye!
Welcome back to Sam's Southern Eatery, where I am joined by our host and head coach, Mike Fleur. Coach, Bryant's 3-0. We're 2-0. It's Battle of the Big Boys.
That's right. That's the way we want it.
I know you wouldn't have it any other way. They're on top of their game. I know that there's a question that's going to be asked about physicality and kind of where we are, but and I've already asked a question earlier about Bryant and their strength. We all know how good they are. They're defending state champs for 2 years. They're undefeated this year. Played, would they play Benton? They played Marion, and then they played Trinity Christian. Trinity Christian being the real test. They had them down by 20, I think, at one point. Then got behind in the fourth quarter and had to come back and beat them 44-40. But Deion Sanders, who is the offensive coordinator for that team, said that he's one of the best. That's one of the best football teams he's seen.
Yeah, they're like you said, they're very talented. You know, Coach James does a great job. Physical runner. We're going to have to do a great job tackling. And
definitely very talented and skilled. You know, their offense is far and it converges onto that area. Do you ever try to get it?
We'll see how it goes.
Well, everything needs to go well. So we're going to skip the next commercial. Just go right into the commercial. Just go right into the question answer.
You know, returns, punt returns, receive and run the football. They're going to run the truck or the butt
thing you do.
What we call it.
Catfish back.
Inside.
Kids definitely have their